Bruce Lee Sip's wrist is suddenly wrenched backward. His balance breaks. A bouncer shoves him toward the steps. 8 seconds. A voice snaps. Then we throw him out. 4 guards close in. No space to move. Crowd stops. All eyes watching. Bruce Sepp's heel slips. One fall ends everything. Behind him, the club door locks. Another guard moves in quietly, blocking escape. Someone starts counting down. This meeting was supposed to help his career. Now humiliation waits in public view. Everyone expects Bruce Lee to fight. Instead, he steps forward, into all 4 men. One guard hesitates. Wait, why is Bruce moving closer? Bruce Lee's wrist is twisted sharply as he steps toward the club entrance. His balance breaks. A heavy shove sends him sideways toward the concrete steps, as arriving guests freeze mid-conversation, unsure whether security is handling trouble or creating it. 8 seconds, the head guard announces loudly. Then we drag him out. The words are not for Bruce. They are for the watching crowd. Conversations die instantly. Heads turn. A few guests recognize Bruce Lee. Others only see a smaller man about to be publicly removed by 4 uniformed giants. Bruce steadies his footing, but his heel slips slightly on the polished stone near the doorway. For a fraction of a second, he almost falls. The guards close around him, forming a wall of bodies. No clear exit, no safe angle. Behind Bruce, the glass door clicks shut. Locked. Inside, another guard casually steps into position, pretending nothing unusual is happening while quietly sealing the only easy escape route. Someone near the reception counter begins counting down. Softly, almost playfully. From the crowd's point of view, Bruce looks trapped, pinned between authority and humiliation. A woman whispers to her companion. A man chuckles nervously. The head bouncer leans close, breath heavy with impatience. You do not belong here tonight. Bruce does not answer. Instead, his eyes move once across the group. Distances, weight shifts. Who moves first? He could fight. Everyone expects him to. The guards expect resistance. The crowd expects drama. Instead, Bruce exhales slowly. His shoulders relax. A tiny shift almost nobody notices. Then he steps forward, directly into the circle. One guard hesitates. Why would a trapped man move deeper? 7 seconds remain. The guards exchange quick looks, confidence wavering for the first time. From outside, guests see Bruce walking into the men trying to throw him out. Someone mutters, confused. The countdown continues. And in that narrow space between certainty and confusion, something changes. Only 20 minutes earlier, Bruce Lee had arrived expecting opportunity. A film associate had insisted an important producer wanted to meet him privately inside the club. A serious discussion. Possible roles. Real connections in Hong Kong cinema. Respect. Work. A future opening. But the man who invited him vanished the moment Bruce arrived. At the time, Bruce ignored the feeling in his gut. Now, standing trapped between 4 bouncers and a watching crowd, the truth settles in. This meeting was never meant to happen. From inside the lobby, patrons watch security push Bruce backward. Some recognize him from demonstrations and television appearances. Others only see another guest about to be thrown out. Whispers ripple through the entrance. Is that Bruce Lee? Why are they kicking him out? Public embarrassment travels faster than reputation. And certain studio figures, irritated by Bruce's refusal to change his fighting style for film, preferred obedience over independence. Someone decided humiliation would correct him. The lead bouncer tightens his grip on Bruce's sleeve, expecting struggle. Bruce remains calm, too calm. The guard shoves again, harder this time, forcing Bruce into the doorway. His shoulder bumps the glass panel, and for a moment his balance wavers again. From the crowd's perspective, it looks like Bruce is losing control. A woman gasps softly. A man near the entrance laughs under his breath. Bruce regains footing but nearly collides with the railing beside the corridor entrance. If they rush together now, he falls. The guards sense victory approaching. Confidence grows. They close in, bodies tightening the circle. Bruce's gaze drops briefly. Not to their hands, but to their feet. Spacing, timing, breathing patterns. One guard leans forward too early. Another watches the crowd instead of Bruce. Mistakes. Small but real. 6 seconds remain. The head guard signals silently. They move together, but not perfectly. A tiny gap appears between them. A tiny mistake. Bruce shifts weight slightly. The guards do not notice. Yet, the lead bouncer enjoys this moment. Public control, authority displayed. Guests stepping aside, eyes watching. Respect enforced through size and uniform. He leans forward, voice raised just enough for the entrance crowd to hear. Leave quietly, he says, or we make it worse. Bruce studies him silently. No anger, no fear, just observation. That silence irritates the guard more than resistance would have. He tightens his grip on Bruce's sleeve, trying to provoke a reaction. Nothing, so he shoves again. Harder. Bruce slides backward one step, shoes scraping against polished floor, almost trapped between corridor wall and railing. From outside, it finally looks like Bruce Lee has run out of options. Two more guards move closer, confident now. Another blocks the exit completely. Bruce Sepp's shoulder brushes the wall. The lead bouncer grins. Victory, seconds away. A few people in the crowd begin to turn away, assuming the outcome is obvious. But Bruce notices something crucial. The guards are watching the crowd. Not him. They want applause, not efficiency. Their posture changes slightly. Chests lifted, shoulders wide, performance replacing precision. Bruce exhales slowly. 5 seconds remain. The head guard signals the others again. This time they step together, but pride makes them careless. One moves early, another moves late. A narrow opening forms between their shoulders. From the crowd's perspective, nothing looks different. But inside the tight space, Bruce sees opportunity. He shifts his weight subtly, not enough to alarm anyone. Yet, the lead guard reaches forward, expecting Bruce to resist or freeze. Instead, Bruce steps closer, closer than the guard expects. The grin disappears. For the first time, uncertainty flashes across the bouncer's face. And suddenly, the man certain of victory is unsure what happens next. The crowd presses closer, curiosity overpowering caution. People arriving for the evening stop just inside the entrance, trying to see past the security line. Those leaving hesitate, sensing something unusual unfolding. Space collapses. Bruce is forced fully inside the narrow entrance corridor. Walls on both sides. No room to circle. Perfect territory for 4 larger men. Dangerous for Bruce. The head guard senses control returning. He nods once and a bouncer on Bruce's left lunges early, grabbing Bruce's shoulder to spin him toward the wall. Bruce twists, but his back nearly slams into the corridor paneling. Another guard rushes at the same time, aiming to pin him completely. Their combined weight almost crushes his movement. Bruce's footing slips. From the crowd's point of view, defeat looks certain. A woman gasps. Someone whispers, "He is finished." The guards surge forward, bodies closing the gap. Bruce barely regains balance before a third guard crashes in, trying to trap his arms. Now there is no visible escape. Bruce Sepp's shoulder hits the wall. Pressure from 3 directions. A 4th guard blocks the corridor exit ahead. 2 seconds remain. The head bouncer swings his arm to pin Bruce's chest and force him downward. Bruce ducks late, almost too late. The guard's weight crashes into the wall instead, shaking the corridor. Guests jump at the sound. Chaos compresses further as bodies collide in tight space. For a moment, nobody has room to move properly. Breathing grows louder. Sweat, frustration, confusion. Bruce Sepp's eyes sharpen. Something shifts inside him. He stops reacting. Now he is deciding. One guard shoves again, trying to regain control. But now Bruce feels the imbalance in their positions. Their momentum is wrong. And in this narrow corridor, wrong momentum is fatal. 1 second remains. The guards do not yet understand, but the momentum has already changed. 2 guards grab Bruce at the same time. One hooks his right arm, dragging it backward. Another tries to force his shoulder down, aiming to collapse his posture and drive him toward the floor. Bruce nearly loses balance. His knee almost touches the ground. From the crowd outside the corridor, it finally looks over. The smaller man caught, trapped beneath sheer weight and numbers. A man near the doorway mutters, "It's such done." Someone else turns away, already bored, expecting the predictable ending. Bruce's jacket tears slightly as fabric tightens under the guard's grip. Their confidence returns instantly, voices rising again as adrenaline replaces caution. "Take him down," one guard snaps. Pressure crushes Bruce's movement. A third guard reaches forward, trying to secure Bruce's free arm. If he succeeds, Bruce will be forced fully to the floor. Humiliation complete. Bruce feels the danger clearly now. His breath shortens. For the briefest instant, panic flickers, an instinctive human response when movement disappears and weight closes from every side. If they succeed, everything changes. Reputation, momentum, respect. But discipline interrupts panic before it grows. Bruce suddenly drops his weight instead of resisting upward. Both guards lose leverage as their own force drives them forward unexpectedly. Bruce pivots sharply between them. Barely. One guard's shoulder brushes past Bruce's cheek instead of trapping him. Another hand misses his collar by inches, grasping empty air. Bruce slips free, but only by the smallest margin. From the crowd's perspective, nobody fully understands what just happened. Only that the man about to fall somehow stands again. The guards stumble into each other, momentarily confused. Momentum broken. Bruce straightens, breathing steady again, eyes focused. 1 second remains. The guards still think they control the situation. They do not realize the moment of victory already passed them, and the space they lost will never return. Bruce does not step back. He steps forward, too close for the guards to swing properly. Their size, once an advantage, now traps them inside the narrow corridor they chose. For half a second, confusion freezes them. The nearest guard reacts first, grabbing for Bruce's shoulder to reassert control. Bruce's fist elbow snaps upward. Short, direct, efficient. Air bursts from the man's lungs as he staggers backward, shocked more than injured. His feet collide with the wall behind him, blocking the other's movement. Another guard lunges immediately, trying to seize Bruce's arm before he can move again. Bruce rotates his wrist and shifts sideways, redirecting the grip instead of fighting it. The guard's own forward momentum twists his balance, slamming him shoulder first into the corridor paneling. The sound echoes. From outside, guests hear bodies hitting walls but see only fragments through the doorway. The third guard charges late, attempting to overpower Bruce through sheer weight. His arms swing wide, expecting Bruce to retreat. Bruce pivots instead. A knee strike lands squarely in the man's midsection. Not violent, not dramatic, just precise enough to fold his posture and stop forward motion completely. The guard stumbles backward into the others, knocking them off balance again. Now frustration replaces confidence. The lead bouncer, red-faced, shoves past his own men, determined to restore authority in front of the watching crowd. He rushes forward. Bruce steps inside his reach before the larger man can swing properly. A short palm strike lands against the center of his chest. Not a knockout, not meant to injure, just enough to break structure. The man stumbles backward, crashing into his team. All four collide awkwardly, limbs tangled, uniforms wrinkled, authority collapsing in seconds. And suddenly, silence. 8 seconds end. No wild punches, no shouting, no brutality, only controlled movement. The corridor falls still as the guards struggle to regain footing. Bruce stands calmly in the center, breathing steady, posture relaxed as if nothing significant occurred. Guests at the entrance stare, confused by how quickly certainty vanished. Moments earlier, he was about to be dragged outside. Now 4 security men avoid eye contact, embarrassed in front of the very crowd they tried to impress. One guard attempts to rise quickly, but pain and humiliation slow him. Another pretends to adjust his uniform to hide his shaking hands. Bruce quietly straightens his torn sleeve. From the crowd's point of view, the outcome makes no sense. He never looked angry. He never looked rushed. And the strangest part, he never tried to hurt them. For several long seconds, nobody moves. The entrance corridor, moments ago loud with shoving and commands, now feels strangely hollow. From the club entrance, guests stare inside, unsure whether the confrontation is finished or about to explode again. Conversations die mid-sentence. Glasses remain frozen halfway to mouths. The 4 bouncers stand scattered, uniforms wrinkled, breathing uneven. Just seconds earlier, they controlled the doorway. Now they avoid looking at each other, or at Bruce. The lead bouncer slowly pushes himself upright, one hand pressed against his chest where Bruce's strike disrupted his balance. Pain is not the worst part. The worst part is the silence watching him. From the crowd's perspective, humiliation spreads faster than violence ever could. A few guests whisper openly now. That ended fast. He barely touched them. One couple quietly slips past, shaking their heads, as if authority inside the club suddenly feels smaller. Bruce remains still, giving them space to recover dignity. He could speak loudly. He could mock them. He could remind everyone what just happened. Instead, he simply adjusts his torn sleeve and rolls his shoulder once, as though finishing an ordinary training exercise. The guards expected anger. They expected retaliation. Instead, they receive restraint. The lead bouncer finally looks up. Confusion replaces pride. Bruce meets his eyes calmly. "You were only doing your job," Bruce says quietly. No sarcasm. No threat. Just truth. And somehow that hurts more. The younger guard, still bent slightly from the earlier strike, exhales slowly, embarrassment flooding his expression. A moment ago, he felt invincible behind his uniform. Now he realizes how quickly confidence disappears when someone refuses to play along. From the crowd's viewpoint, the entire energy of the entrance changes. People who came expecting entertainment now stand quietly, sensing something deeper happened here. A waiter near the bar later remembers this moment most clearly. Not the fight, but what followed. The defeated guards step aside without being ordered. The doorway clears. Bruce walks toward the exit calmly, not even glancing behind him. Nobody blocks his path. Nobody dares. As he passes the entrance, guests instinctively move aside, giving him space. Not from fear, from respect. Behind him, the guards begin helping each other straighten uniforms and recover posture, trying to pretend nothing unusual happened. But everyone saw. Authority shattered in public view. And worse, Bruce never tried to destroy them, only to stop them. The lead bouncer watches Bruce leave through the glass doors. Something unsettles him, because the smaller man they tried to humiliate could have injured them badly. Instead, he chose control. For the first time in years, the guard questions how many confrontations he escalated unnecessarily, how many people he forced out simply because he could. The corridor slowly returns to normal noise, but something invisible has shifted. Confidence has collapsed, and reflection has quietly begun. Outside the club, traffic continues as if nothing happened. Cars pass. Vendors call out. Evening life moves forward without pause. Bruce steps onto the sidewalk, cool air brushing against his face. The noise of the entrance fades behind him as the glass doors swing closed. For anyone watching from across the street, he looks like a man leaving an ordinary meeting, calm, unhurried, unbothered. But inside the club, the mood remains unsettled long after he is gone. The lead bouncer stands near the entrance, pretending to check a guest list while replaying the last few minutes in his head. 8 seconds. That is all it took. Not 8 seconds of chaos. 8 seconds of control. Guests who witnessed the incident speak quietly as they move deeper into the club. Stories begin forming instantly. He didn't even look angry. They had him surrounded. It was over before it started. Rumors grow faster than facts. By midnight, staff members who never saw the incident retell it with exaggerated details. By the next evening, neighboring businesses already know security at the club was handled effortlessly by Bruce Lee. But inside the minds of the 4 bouncers, exaggeration is unnecessary. They remember every second clearly. One of them, the youngest, sits in the staff room afterwards staring at his hands. Hours earlier, he felt untouchable in uniform. Now he remembers how quickly his balance disappeared. How easily control slipped. Not because Bruce was violent, but because Bruce never panicked. The realization unsettles him. The job suddenly feels different, less certain, less safe. The lead bouncer finishes his shift quietly, avoiding conversation. Normally he enjoys retelling confrontations, laughing with coworkers about difficult guests. Tonight he says nothing. On the late bus ride home, he replays Bruce's final words. "You were only doing your job." Not an insult, not forgiveness, just truth. And that truth forces reflection he never expected. Maybe the job had become about dominance. Maybe respect cannot be forced. Across the city, Bruce arrives home without announcing anything unusual. He removes his jacket, notices the tear in the sleeve, and folds it neatly anyway. His wife asks how the meeting went. Bruce shrugs lightly. Not productive, no drama, no pride. Just another experience. Later that night, when the city quiets, Bruce trains alone. Slow movements, controlled breathing, repetition. Not to prepare for fights, but to avoid them, because he understands something others do not. Victory is not defeating people. Victory is leaving without hatred following you home. In the following weeks, small changes ripple outward. Security staff across entertainment districts begin handling confrontations differently. Word spreads Bruce Lee did not hurt anyone unnecessarily. He controlled the situation and walked away. That detail matters. The lead bouncer eventually instructs younger staff to talk first before using force. Guests notice a softer approach. Fewer incidents escalate, not because of fear, but because humiliation teaches lessons authority cannot. Bruce never speaks publicly about the event. No interviews mention it. No newspapers report it. Yet among workers, drivers, waiters, and performers moving through the nightlife of Hong Kong, the story survives quietly. The night 4 bouncers tried to make an example out of Bruce Lee and learned something instead. Months later, one of those guards sees Bruce again outside a film studio. Their eyes meet briefly. Bruce nods politely. No resentment, no challenge, just acknowledgement. The guard nods back, almost grateful, because Bruce could have destroyed them. Instead, he left them with something harder to ignore: perspective. And years later, when Bruce Lee's fame spreads far beyond the city, the story remains among those who witnessed it. Not about violence, not about domination, but about 8 seconds when chaos ended and discipline walked away.